For 10 years, everyone knew Maya as the woman they could count on. If someone needed money, Maya found a way to help. If a friend needed a place to stay, she opened her door. If a family member needed someone to listen at 2 in the morning, Maya would answer the phone. She never asked for much in return. Sometimes, she didn't even ask for a thank you. Helping people simply became part of who she was. When her younger brother lost his job, Maya paid his rent for 3 months. When her best friend wanted to start a small business, Maya gave her the money she had been saving for a new car. When her mother needed help with medical expenses, Maya was the first person everyone called. And every time someone told her, "I don't know what I would do without you," Maya smiled. Those words made her feel needed. They made her believe that the relationships around her were strong, that the people she helped would be there for her too. She never really questioned it. Why would she? For 10 years, she had been there for almost everyone. Then one Tuesday morning, everything changed. Maya was sitting at her desk when she suddenly received a phone call from her manager. The company was restructuring. Her position was being eliminated. After 10 years of working there, Maya had lost her job. She sat quietly after the call ended, staring at the wall. For the first time in years, she didn't know what she was going to do. She had some savings, but most of it was gone because of all the people she had helped. Her car needed repairs. Her rent was due in 2 weeks. And for the first time, Maya needed someone else. So she called her younger brother. He answered after several rings. "Hey, Maya. What's up?" She took a breath. "I lost my job." There was silence on the other end. Then her brother said, "Oh, that's tough." Maya waited. She expected him to say something more. Maybe, "Don't worry, I'll help you." Maybe, "You've always been there for me. Let me be there for you this time." But instead, he started explaining why things were difficult for him too. His bills had increased. His children needed school supplies. Things weren't easy. Maya understood. "That's okay," she said. After the call ended, she sat there for a while. Then she called her best friend. The same friend whose business she had helped start years earlier. The same friend who had once told her, "If you ever need anything, I'll always be there." Maya explained what had happened. Her friend sounded concerned. "Wow, Maya. I'm really sorry." Then she paused. "I wish I could help, but things are really tight right now." Maya looked around her quiet apartment. She didn't know why, but something inside her had begun to feel different. Not anger. Not yet. Just a strange realization. She had spent 10 years making sure everyone else had somewhere to turn. But now that she needed somewhere to turn, she wasn't sure anyone was there. That evening, Maya opened her phone and scrolled through her contacts. Hundreds of names. People she had helped. People she had supported. People she had defended. People she had shown up for when nobody else did. And yet, as she looked at the list, she couldn't think of a single person she felt comfortable calling. Then she noticed something she had never paid attention to before. Almost every relationship in her life had followed the same pattern. They called. She answered. They needed. She gave. They struggled. She rescued. But what happened when she was the one struggling? That was when Maya began to understand something she had never wanted to admit. She had spent years being useful to people without discovering whether they actually valued her. And the difference between being needed and being loved was about to become painfully clear. The next morning, Maya decided she wouldn't call anyone else. Not because she didn't need help. She did. But because she wanted to see what would happen if, for once, she stopped being the person who always reached out first. Days passed. Nobody noticed. Nobody called to ask how she was doing. Nobody came to check whether she had found another job. Then, 2 weeks later, her phone started ringing again. Her brother needed money. Her friend needed help with her business. Another relative wanted to borrow some cash. Maya looked at the screen and didn't answer. For the first time, she wasn't angry. She simply didn't have anything left to give. A few days later, her best friend came to visit. She walked into Maya's apartment and immediately started talking about another problem she was having. But Maya gently interrupted her. "I need to tell you something." Her friend stopped. Maya looked at her and said, "For 10 years, I've been there whenever you needed me. But when I needed you, you weren't there." Her friend looked uncomfortable. "I didn't know you expected me to." "I'm not talking about money," Maya said. "I'm talking about showing up." The room became quiet. Maya continued. "I thought being there for people meant they would naturally be there for me. But I've realized that I was giving more than I was receiving for a very long time." Her friend didn't have an answer, and Maya finally understood that sometimes the hardest truth isn't discovering that someone doesn't love you. It's discovering that you confused being useful to someone with being important to them. From that day forward, Maya didn't become a cold person. She didn't stop helping people. She simply stopped abandoning herself to help them. When someone asked for money, she no longer felt guilty for saying no. When someone demanded her time, she learned to ask herself whether she actually had the energy to give it. When someone only appeared when they needed something, she stopped calling that relationship friendship. And slowly, something unexpected happened. She began to notice the people who had always cared about her without needing anything from her. There was an old colleague who checked on her every week, a neighbor who brought her food when she was struggling, and one friend she had almost overlooked because that friend had never asked Maya for anything. Those were the relationships she began investing in. Eventually, Maya found another job. It wasn't perfect, but this time, she approached life differently. She still helped people. She still had a generous heart. But she finally understood that generosity without boundaries can become self-neglect. And she learned one lesson she wished she had discovered 10 years earlier. You don't have to constantly sacrifice yourself to prove that you care. The people who genuinely value you won't only appreciate what you can do for them. They will care about how you're doing when you have nothing to offer. Because when the day comes that you need help, you'll discover something important. Some people loved what you gave them. Some people loved having access to you. And a rare few simply loved you. So don't wait until you're completely exhausted, broke, or broken to find out which one you've been surrounded by. Pay attention now. Notice who checks on you when they don't need anything. Notice who remembers your problems after you've listened to theirs. Notice who offers support without being asked. And most importantly, don't be afraid to stop giving long enough to see who stays. Because sometimes, the moment you stop being useful is the moment you finally discover who truly values you. And that's the lesson Maya carried with her for the rest of her life. Not everyone you help will help you back. But that doesn't mean you should stop being kind. It means you should learn to be kind without forgetting yourself.